Imagine cruising. More than just a cruise. Visit imaginecruising.co.uk now to find your dream holiday.
Hi, welcome to A Week in Weatherfield, the Coronation Street review show presented by two people who don't want to think about Brian's trim down south. I'm David Brown.
And I'm Johnathon Hughes.
This week's headlines: Shona's speedy recovery,
Nick and David's close shave,
and Seb's birthday disaster. Well, Shona was involved in a very harrowing siege situation on Monday. It was perfectly fine by the Friday.
lols aplenty by the end of the week. She was over it.
Completely. All she was worried about was the old engagement ring.
Yeah.
It was like Clayton didn't exist.
Like she'd never stabbed her own son 48 hours before.
It was like PTSD just didn't play a part in this.
Maybe you just need to get engaged straight after a traumatic event and you'll be absolutely fine.
I think that's the secret.
Didn't she like pop out for a takeaway or something? Like she'd have agoraphobia or something, wouldn't she? Like she wouldn't. It was really quick. I mean, well done, Shona, for like overcoming adversity. But I think at one point, because the family wanted to like put it behind them, I think somebody at the Platt House said, "Oh, let's just pretend like it never happened." And viewers were like, "It kind of feels like it didn't."
I know.
Do you think it was a bit of a cliffhanger bait, though?
I think it was. I think the whole thing was constructed for two reasons. One was so we could get a little bit of a crass cliffhanger, I have to say, in which you thought that Shona had suffered the same fate as Kylie.
Yeah.
And then they also just wanted to facilitate the proposal and the engagement in the most dramatic way possible.
I mean, that's a heck of a strategy, isn't it, for someone to try and get their boyfriend to propose?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'll be held hostage and stab someone.
Yeah.
And then you won't be able to resist.
I know.
And then it will be like, put a ring on it.
Yeah. But I think the whole thing could be traced back to the fate of Clayton's cat.
Oh,
do you not think?
Snowy, was it? Snowy the pet cat? There was some backstory about Snowy the pet cat. So when Clayton was little, his dad told him that, why am I laughing? That Shona threw...
It was just the way he said it was quite funny.
It was, because it was really like serious, really.
Yeah.
My dad told me, he chucked him in the canal. And Shona said, no, he got put down, I just didn't want to upset you. Yeah. That is where it started, isn't it, as you say?
Since then, Clayton has been knifing people on the street, he's used his dad as a drugs mule and basically killed him, and he's held his mum hostage, all because of the treatment of this cat.
Poor Snowy, pray for Snowy. Maybe Snowy's still alive somewhere. Can come back to redeem.
In a cat hospice. But I mean, also it was slightly ill-timed. I mean, Coronation Street obviously can't predict the headlines and the current climate, but to use a kind of knifing as a way to kind of get people on the edge of their seats felt a little bit dodgy.
A bit ill-timed, considering what's going on, and perhaps a missed opportunity at the time. This plot was obviously conceived quite a long time ago, but knife crime has been in the headlines for quite a long time. Yeah. I feel like it was a potentially missed opportunity to kind of
address a social issue.
Yeah, and it really wasn't, and it did feel a bit like they'd used it to escalate a plot rather than explore something that they could have done. Yeah, indeed. So Shona got distracted by the engagement ring. David, of course, had his own form of distraction in the form of the new barbershop, which opened on Friday tonight. Would you go for a trim at David and Nick's joint? Would I go for a trim up north?
Yeah, would you?
I'd rather go to Audrey's.
Yeah, I think...
to be honest.
You know what you're getting, don't you, at Audrey's?
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
They've been in the game a bit longer.
Yeah.
I think, Maria's like the most poached hairstylist in the Northwest, because everyone wants her, didn't they? Claudia wanted her, and there was the big fight over her. Yeah, I don't... the craft beer and the coffee.
Yeah, that's appealing.
The table football.
Yeah, and the weasel.
The weasel. I'd love a selfie with Vin Diesel, the weasel.
Yeah.
But in terms of styling, I'm not really buying it really. But if they got some craft beers in Audrey's salon, that would be the perfect mix for me.
It was quite good that on International Women's Day, it took the combined force of Audrey and Maria to come to the rescue and save the whole establishment from certain ruin.
Yeah, and it did make me realise, though, how much Corrie loves a salon war, because they set up this, Audrey's versus Trim Up North family versus family and all of this. But wasn't it not that long ago that Claudia and Audrey were going to have rival salons? Claudia was going to open her own salon.
Yeah.
Somebody's got that cutting it box set.
Hair dryers at dawn.
Hair dryers at dawn.
Promotional shot. Yeah.
They love it. They're just trying to. Someone in that writer's room is pitching.
Yes.
pitching cutting it.
Yeah, all the time. But I mean, I think this kind of speaks to this remit. You know, we had a comment made by Kevin Ligo, didn't we, about ITV not doing so much scripted comedy,
yes.
and Coronation Street and Emmerdale filling that role.
Yeah, you kind of said that's what we've got Coronation Street for.
Yeah.
So is there like a channel edict to keep the lightness really at the top of the agenda for Corrie? Really it did feel like it with this storyline, and you know, even though we had the dramatic siege, that wasn't the most memorable part of this week. It was the comedy stuff.
Yeah,
was much more to the fore. Corrie and comedy obviously
go hand in hand,
but yeah, you kind of feel the laugh track. Like it almost was basically like Coronation Street. It's filmed in front of a live studio audience, and then you have been watching credits at the end.
Yeah.
With David holding a weasel like this or something.
That would have been very apt.
That's where it's going, I think.
Yeah, I mean, also it was a missed opportunity in that we didn't get Seb having a haircut. He almost.
You know what? The nation's praying for Seb to have a haircut, and he nearly did it. And because of David's mismanagement, didn't happen.
Those locks remain. he'd have been in the end titles, like kind of, you know, holding his hair, wouldn't he? You know, oh no, yet again. Yeah. But he had a horrible week all round, of course, because it was his birthday, and he misread the signals big time.
Well, you say he had a horrible week. I think it was 50-50.
50-50 was the 50-50 was the word of the week. Definitely.
50-50 was the description as to exactly how much he saw of Sarah Platt in flagrante when he caught her in the bath, thinking that she had lured him for some sexy time, maybe at the Platt house. But it was a terrible, terrible misunderstanding. But 50-50. We'll just leave that there to your imagination. But he kind of got humiliated on his 18th birthday by the woman he's got this massive crush on.
I thought it was quite humiliating for Sarah, though, because, you know, this was all the plan of Gail, who, in a kind of, it wasn't very emancipating, was it, for Gail to suggest to Sarah that she run her husband a nice bath.
He's had a hard day at work.
Yeah.
Why don't you run him a lovely, relaxing bath? Give him a treat.
Yeah.
Well, what's this on? You know, again, it's International Women's Day, the week of International Women's Day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what message that is.
Just play the little housewife, Sarah, lovey.
But I think that Seb should have taken full advantage and have kind of climbed the steps with a bottle of matey in one hand and a loofah in the other. You know?
And Marvin Gaye playing. Ascending the stairs. Yeah, I don't think he's really been close to a bottle of matey and a loofah, though.
Doesn't look like
doesn't look the sort, does he?
Doesn't look like it, no. Well, we'll be back in 7 days' time when hopefully Seb might have been near scissors and H2O. We'll be back with another week in Weatherfield.
Escape the drama with Imagine Cruising. Visit imaginecruising.co.uk now to find your dream holiday.